Hello, welcome to In-and-Out of OutSystems, where I will show you something cool and useful in OutSystems in 5 minutes. I'm Craig St. Jean from NetLink Digital Solutions. Let's go! In this series, I'm going to show how to control this light bulb, which I have connected to a power relay board into a Raspberry Pi, which also has a light sensor exposed. And this has some web services that I'm going to connect to from a mobile app. In part 2, we'll build a screen around it, and in part 3, we're going to add some timers to actually turn that on or off depending on a schedule and if there's light in the house or not. So first, we're going to create this phone app, and we're going to call it Pi Lights. And we'll create that module. And now we can go to Logic, and we're going to consume these REST APIs that I've already got running on that server. So we'll put in my home IP address, which I will blur out for you. And we have a method that's going to get if the light's power is currently on. So we can click test, and it says on is false. Perfect. I'm going to click copy response to body, and this is what OutSystems is going to use to create the response structure when it creates this method for us. So I'm going to click finish, and now we have get power with our response and our structure there. And I'm going to change this name here to be more meaningful. Then we're going to add another method to get the intensity. Now, at the moment, the intensity is really just, is there light or is there not light? Because the light sensor that I'm using can't measure how intense the light is. It's really just, is it on or not? So if we hit test, it's going to say value is 1. 1 meaning, yes, there's light. And if I cover this sensor up, now we have a value of 0. So I'm going to copy that to body and click finish. And last, we obviously want one to control if that light is on or off. So we have a post which takes this structure and doesn't actually return anything back. So if we test this out, on of true, click test, and the light is on. And false, and it goes back off. So now that we've done this, I can publish this application, and it will then be live in our OutSystems environment for us to continue on in the next video where we build a user interface around these APIs. Now, since this is the first video where I'm talking about this, I want to explain a little bit around how this is set up. So from these pictures here, you can see that we have the power board going into the 5-volt power of the GPIO section of the Raspberry Pi. Ground is connected to ground. And then we have a GPIO port that we can control being on or off going into the input of the relay board. Now, the lamp that's here, I simply cut the power cable, stripped the wires, and connected the neutrals to each other with that yellow connector, and connected the live wires into that relay board. Disclaimer, I'm not an electrician. NetLink doesn't take responsibility for any damage you cause. Please be careful if you try to reproduce this, and do your own research before you actually make any attempts. Last is this light sensor, and it's got the power into the 3.3 volt because that's the power that that sensor takes, ground into ground, and of course the digital output of the light sensor going into the GPIO board. And last, I have some simple code here written in Go that exposes those APIs and uses the GPIO ports. Thank you. I'll see you next time.